Hey guys, it's Candy. Welcome to my channel. If it's your first time, a special welcome to you. Do go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that you will not miss out on any of my future content. And if you're a return viewer, welcome back. So I already started the braid pattern for today's look, and this is one of the simplest braid patterns that you could ever use. I'm pretty much just braiding the hair back. The only thing is, for this first braid, I am actually carrying that braid all the way across the back of the neck. And yeah, the only other thing I want to highlight is what I'm doing now is where there is a potential parting. I do braid to the point where the part will stop, and then I overlap the hair and crisscross it over to the other row. But even if I'm only planning to do just one invisible part, which is going to be the case for today's video, she's going to be doing a middle part, I still always balance it by doing that overlapping braid on either side of the middle part. So that helps to balance the volume of hair, as well as it helps to provide additional coverage for those lines or those parts in the back, just to fill them out a little bit more. And all my braids are being connected. So the braid that I'm working on now, I do bring up the tail of the braid that is not directly beside it, but the one before that. I bring it underneath the one that is beside it and join it with the braid that I am now making. And you would continue doing that same process all the way until you get over to the opposite side of the head. And you're going to end up with just one tail, which is what you want. All right, so this is a pretty simple braid pattern that we are working with. Usually my braid patterns are more versatile, but for this style, she wears the hair down all the time, so there is no need to do the versatility and the braid up and the crisscross. Yeah, none of that jazz. All right, so we're just finishing up this so we can move on to the main event. And for this particular client, she requires me to actually stitch down her tail because she is not willing to take any chances or willing for any mishaps where the tail will pop out of the crochet or pop through the curls. So she's like, you know what? I like when mine is braided, not braided down, sewn down. So that is what I do. All right. So now, guys, the hair is the Freetress Boho Kinky Jr. Love it, love it, love it. It comes in a length that is very comfortable. You don't have to cut anything. It's already a nice shoulder length. So we're just installing those the way we typically install any crochet hair, which is to pull the hair through, make 2 knots, and then slide it to tighten. It's as easy as breeze. Yes. And so we're going to just continue to fill out the hair all the way across. That's what I typically do. I keep installing the hair the same way you would maybe a sewing, one row at a time until you are done, right? And when we get to the top is when I will show you the invisible method. So a little bit about the hair. Again, the Freetress Boho Kinky Jr. It is a kinky texture hair, super soft, absolutely lightweight, and it mimics natural hair very well. And so it is very low maintenance. You don't have to worry about doing too much to this hair. So you guys definitely will love it. I ended up using 5 packs. Typically between 4 and 5 packs is good. So depending on the type of volume that you like, you can decide if you want to go with 4. I have used 4 several times in clients' hair. But for me, I'm a 5-pack girl, and I did use 5 packs today on this particular client. So you're able to see what the volume will look like with 5 packs, and then you can determine if you prefer to go with less. Of course, you can go with more because some people like huge volume. All right, so now we are at the middle part. Yeah, as I mentioned before, she's doing a middle part, so we're going to go ahead, and I already did this part on camera. The right side of the invisible part was already installed. So let's go ahead and do the left, inserting the crochet tool on the outside of the part. That's very important. Then I'm pulling through only one strand, twist to tighten, and then you pull. Then I always pick off a tiny piece of braiding here from either side and create 2 knots just as an added layer of security. All right, so again, inserting from the outside of the part. Then we're going to actually put our crochet here onto the crochet latch hook, pull it through, and then we're pulling only one piece of the braid through as opposed to 2 when we're doing the regular back portion. Then we draw it tight, pull it over, and pinch off 2 tiny, literally 2 tiny pieces of hair and knot them twice. All right, and we're gonna just continue to do that, and you will see how it covers the braid, and it gives that illusion like the hair is growing out of your scalp. Yes. What else can I say about the hair? Just make sure that at night you cover it with a satin cap. If it looks a little bit dull, which it doesn't usually, then you can add a little bit of mousse and keep it pushing. Yeah, so we're at the last piece of hair, and I'm just again inserting, attaching, pulling through, pull one side through tight, and then do that pinching technique where we reinforce the hair, make sure it's not going to go anywhere. All right, so pretty much this is the process, you guys. We are pretty much done. As you can see, the part is looking quite invisible or knotless. You're not able to see the knots, which is the whole point of doing this technique. And yeah, this is how the hair looks pre-cutting. I'm gonna just trim off the stragglers, not gonna cut it in terms of shortening the length, but just making sure that we clean up any frizzes or frizz that exist in the back. All right, so that's the volume. So if you guys don't like your hair this big, then 4 packs would definitely work for you. Yeah, and guys, just as a spoiler alert, the client didn't really want her face to be 100% showcased, so I just tried to do it as discreetly as possible, and she was fine with just, yeah, but she wasn't trying to do the spin around thing and the turn around thing and the flashing thing. So this is how it turned out, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate you always coming back to Natural Hair Dynamics. Be sure again to subscribe, and I will talk to you on my next one. Bye bye.